Python 3.15 will use UTF-8 as its default encoding. What does that even mean, and does it affect you? In this video, I'm going to explain what's going on and whether you need to think about it or worry about it or just carry on your merry way. This is, of course, part of my entire Python 3.15 playlist that I'm putting here on YouTube to get you ready for the release, which is coming this October of 2026. So you can see here in the What's New list, Python now uses UTF-8 as the default encoding. And if we go down there, it says it uses the default encoding independent of the system's environment. So this raises a whole bunch of questions. And by the way, I'll just add, this is all listed here and described in great detail in PEP 686. So what does this really mean? Well, if I am writing things in ASCII characters, that is to say, and that's what I grew up with when I was little, right? Back in the day, we assumed that everyone in the entire world, or at least the computer world, just used English. So we only needed English characters, uppercase and lowercase, and numbers and some basic symbols like exclamation point and period and $sign. But it turns out, I know, big shocker, that not everyone in the world uses English, and we might want to support a whole lot of other characters. That is what Unicode does. Unicode gives us access to all the characters for all the languages, as well as things like emojis, so you can communicate with your children if and when they want to write to you or hear from you. In any event, the idea of Unicode is fantastic. But how can you compress that into only 1 byte? And the answer is you can't. 1 byte is at most 256 positions. Often we use just 7 bits of the byte, and so that's not nearly enough for all these characters. And so the idea of an encoding came into existence. And an encoding basically says, how do we take this very, very, very large number of characters and turn it into 1 or more bytes? And so you might say, well, we're just going to use, we're going to use 3 bytes per character or 2 bytes per character. But there are cleverer ways of doing that. And UTF-8 is one of those. In UTF-8, ASCII stuff, the stuff that, again, was standard when I was a kid, remains exactly as it was using 7 bits. But you can have characters in other languages, French, Spanish, Greek, Hebrew, Arabic, Russian, if you use 2 bytes. And you can have other languages that have many, many more characters, as well as emojis and flags and all that other stuff, if you use 3 or more bytes. And UTF-8 is thus a variable length encoding. The number of bytes used to store the information depends on the character. And the UTF-8 implementation basically is smart enough to know how many bytes to write and how many bytes to read. This comes head on in a collision with many of the older other encodings out there. So let's first see what's going on in Python 3.15 if I'm trying to read a file that's UTF-8. So if I look here on my disk, I can see I have 2 files, one cleverly named text.utf8.txt. So I can say open of text.utf8.txt, and I can just read it. And it works just fine. Right, it's got some French in there. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it because my pronunciation is even worse than my other knowledge of French. But basically, you can see here we have some characters with accent marks. These characters with accent marks are not available in ASCII. They must be encoded somehow in some other way. Now, I just read this UTF-8 file, and that means that if I were to look at the file's contents, where I have accent marks or the euro symbol, it is going to be 2 bytes, not 1 byte, right? That is distinct from, say, the D or the J here, or even the space, where all of them are 1 byte. And that's the variable length encoding in practice. So if I want to read this on my Mac or on a Linux box, that's not a problem at all. So wait, are there people using other operating systems out there? Oh yeah, Windows, that. So it turns out that on Windows, the default encoding, if you don't specify anything, has been for a long, long time not necessarily UTF-8. It is often something known as CP code page 1252, at least for Western Europe. And that basically is a totally different way of taking these characters and encoding them. So if you are on a Mac or if you are on Linux and you are trying to read a UTF-8 file into Python, this 3.15 upgrade will almost certainly make no difference to you and you won't need to change your code. But if you are on Windows and you hit 3.15, well, then you also won't need anything special to read the UTF-8 file. But what if you have old legacy files? What if there's a file that is in 1252? Well, let's try that. I'm going to read now not text UTF-8. I'm going to read in text 1252. And I read it in, and it blows up on me. And it gives me an exception, UnicodeDecodeError, meaning, hey, I was trying to take these characters and turn them into a Python string, but it's not following the rules of UTF-8. There are very strict rules for what each byte can contain, and this is not it. And you can even see here, it can't decode byte 0xe0 in position 4, invalid continuation byte. And indeed, if we look here, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? This is the character that's indeed giving it trouble, right? It's that A with the accent mark on it. So what happened? Well, we tried to read the characters. We tried to interpret them as UTF-8, and they were not. Can I read these? Of course I can. I just have to say here, encoding equals CP1252, and then it works just fine, and I read it in. So if you are working on Windows right now and you're reading in files that are CP1252 right now, you don't need to specify the encoding. But as soon as the 3.15 upgrade comes, you will need to specify it. Otherwise, you'll get the same error that I got on my Mac here. Does this mean that as of Python 3.15, you will never again need to specify encoding? No, it means that if you're working with Unicode files, then you don't need to specify the encoding either on the Mac or on Linux or on Windows. Python 3.15 will assume UTF-8. But what if you want to read from a file that has CP1252? Well, then you will need to do what I just did on my Mac here, which is specify it explicitly. And that's true for any encoding you might want. This is also true for writing. If you are working on Windows and using Python 3.15 and all of your colleagues are still using CP1252, maybe on their applications or maybe in their old Python apps, then you will need to specify encoding equals CP1252 when you write a file so that they can read it. This is a little annoying and it is a little frustrating. It does mean that your code might break on currently existing files, but by moving to UTF-8 universally across Python platforms, it means that the same code will work the same on all different platforms with different files. That is to say, no matter if you're on Windows or a Mac or Linux, you'll be able to read in UTF-8 files and not necessarily specify the encoding unless you want to. And if you're reading something that's not UTF-8, you will need to specify it. All right. If you have any questions about Unicode, code pages, encodings, or other things that are coming up in Python 3.15, leave them in the comments. I want to hear, I want to help you out, and I'll be back real soon with lots more about Python 3.15, and of course, as always, Python pandas and everything in between. I'll see you then soon.